Now, why did the Corinthians do it? I don't know. Obviously, they were very proud. They were puffed up. Their church was very influential in the city. They had a lot of giftedness. And so maybe they were just focusing on all of the good things that they did, all of the money that they raised, all of the good ministries that they had in the city, all of the giftedness. They had really great music, really great preaching. And so they focused on all of the good stuff, and all the while they ignored the sin that was about to destroy their fellowship together. It could be that this guy who was sleeping with his stepmom, he could have been a very influential member of the church. Maybe he gave a lot of money. Don't need to mess with him. I know it's wrong, but if he leaves, can't pay the pastor's salary. Or maybe he was really popular, and if we confront this guy on his sin and he leaves and he's going to take half of the church with him. Maybe that was the case. It could have been that they had this gross misunderstanding of Christian freedom. We'll see this in 1 Corinthians chapter 6. There was this idea that if Jesus Christ has died for my sin and I've been set free from sin and I no longer have to pay the penalty for the sin in my life, then wow, I can do whatever I want. I can live however I want. I can do whatever I want with my sexuality, whatever I want with my body, and all I got to do when I go to heaven when I die is say, hey, I trusted in Jesus. I'm free, Christian freedom. So maybe that was it. Maybe what you see in Corinth and what you see in our culture is that they had wrongly equated tolerance with love. And they looked at the teachings of Jesus in the Gospels and they saw how Jesus commanded us to love one another. And therefore, if we're to love one another, that means we cannot be judgmental, because tolerance equals love. And what Paul is saying is, if you're in the church and you see another believer living in open, continual, unrepentant sin, then in that case, judging is the loving thing to do. You can't equate tolerance and love. They're not the same thing. Sometimes the loving thing is the judging thing. So call this guy out on his sin and remove him from your fellowship. The Lord takes seriously the purity of his church.